Alright, அனைவருக்கும் வணக்கம். Welcome to Picking It Panic Series 28. என் பேர் s.meyya மாணிக்கம். I'm actually based in Sharjah, Malaysia. என்னோட ஊர் வந்து ராச்சலை. So it's a pleasure to see all of you in another episode, another series, Picking It Panic. All right. So as most of you would know, Picking It Panic we started especially during the lockdown last year, April. All right, and I started this basically for the workshop of public speaking. So the moon series முடிஞ்சு, then I thought, okay, let's invite other speakers who are good in other fields, all right, who are technical expertise in other fields. So that's why I converted this to become a talk show. It's a full-fledged Nagartar online talk show, right? So இதுக்கு முன்னாடி பேசினவங்கலாம் அவங்க துறையை வந்து நிபுணர்கள், விளையாட்டாளர்கள், கலைத்துறையை சேர்ந்தவங்க, or educationist, you have singers, right? So you have different experts in their field, all right, or they're professionals. So that is our main aim, and my main aim is also to introduce new speakers, new talents, all right, for throughout the world itself. And just before we go to the speaker itself, just a few house rules. So just kindly mute your mic. You can switch on your video, that's fine. And after the talk, we will have Q&A session, question answer session. So you can unmute your mic and ask question directly to the speaker, or you can put your questions at the chat box. All right, so that is fine. And for those of you who would like to know more about the speaker, of course, I've shared the Instagram account of the speaker. So please go check it out. Please go and like. Okay, all her skills are there, all right, whatever pictures she has taken. Okay, so இதுக்கு முன்னாடி ஒரு before I introduce the speaker, I got to know about this speaker last year, okay, through one of my friend, all right, in Malaysia. So when I started this talk, okay, then the friend said, okay, let's why don't you connect with this girl, all right, she's a photographer, she's also skillful, maybe you can just invite her to give a talk. So of course the speaker is a professional photographer, and she's so busy with her work. I was just trying to find the right time, and of course finally we made it. Okay, so ஒரு 80ஆம் ஆண்டுகள் பாடல் இருக்கு, கண்மணி நீ வர காத்திருந்தேன் ஜன்னலில் பார்த்திருந்தேன்னு. சோ இந்த கண்மணி வந்து ஜன்னல்ல பார்க்க மாட்டாங்க, லென்ஸ் வழியா பார்ப்பாங்க. So of course she's a photographer, right? So let me read out something about her, something sweet. Of course, Kanmani is from Chennai, as you can see from the poster, and she's a photographer, professional portrait photographer. All right. So it's not a freelance photographer or part-time photographer. No, it's full-time professional photographer. So அவன் கைவண்ணத்தை முதல்ல நீங்க பாத்துருக்கலாம். Some of the samples, அது ஒரு சாம்பிள் தான். நீங்க அந்த இன்ஸ்டாகிராம் அக்கௌண்ட்ல போய் பாத்தீங்கன்னா நிறைய இருக்கு. Okay. And of course, photography for her is about capturing beauty of her soul, and which is true sense of one's living. And apart from that, she enjoys a chill breeze, gazing moon, staring at hills and waves, soothing music, and also observing the light around her. And photography is part of her, and it makes her to listen and to be part of people's stories and real emotions. So she draw inspiration from her daily life, right? Society, music, movies, and that they all make what she is now. All right. So of course she has been elated to have worked with the featured in Human of Madras official, Human of World Tamil Nadu, and also Oneplace community and Aval Vikatan. So these are the few places where she was published and she was ventured in. Okay, so நிறைய பேர் கேட்டிருக்கலாம், what are the who are the publicities that she has captured? Okay, and then the publicity or heroines that she has captured. Okay, let me tell you few names. She has a lot, but let me tell you few names. So the first one is Murlanali Ravi. She acted as the heroine in the recently released film called Enemy. Okay, in the Diwali release பண்ணிருப்பாங்க Enemy. So that heroine, she captured photo. Apart from that, the Vani Bojan. Okay, if for those of you watched Oh My Kadavule and also Raman Andalum, Ravanan Andalum, she acted in that movie. And apart from that, of course, Big Boss Abhirami Venkatachalam, the popular one, and popular singer Nitya Shri. She was in the Indian Idol Junior, and also Vijay TV Super Singer Junior, right, one of the podium finishers. And apart from that, VJ Anjana, okay, Gayatri Shankar, you should know, she acted in Rammi. She acted in the popular Nadula Konja Pakatakano, the heroine, and the Paanu Sulangla Vijay Sethupathi. So that's the girl. So I'm sure when our speaker captured her face, there were a lot of pa around the world, right? So of course these are the few names I'm saying, there are a lot. So do go and visit her Instagram page, all right? So without much ado, let me welcome our speaker for today, Kanmani Palniappan. Let's give a round of applause.
Thank you so much, na.
All right. Thanks for your time. All right. So the first question, of course, how did you get into photography?
Yeah. So I would rather say like photography chose me at its own time. So initially during my 10th standard, I guess, yeah, we went on a family trip. So that is when we had this small Sony digital camera. So I was this curious child who wants to know more about how the camera is actually working. That is all. My major motive was how exactly it is working. Will it actually capture what I see through my eyes? That was the question. So I just captured these trees, insects, flowers, my family. So that is how it actually started. Like that one spark which happened was during my 10th standard. And then I did complete my schooling, and then I joined my engineering. So I didn't know that photography was a thing for me by that time. So I was not that confident to take up viscom and do media communications and all. So I did my engineering. During my engineering, again the photography reached me. Like my friends asked me that you have a thing with camera, no, so why don't you try something out of it. So that is when I decided, okay, then I asked my parents for a camera. Camera isn't something very small, so it was quite expensive. And then I asked them, my parents told that work with what you have, practice with what you have, and then you can invest on it. So I thought that was quite sensible. And then I did have that small camera again. So I did practice, and I kept knowing that this is something that I want to learn more about. So I kept working on it, and I attended these culturals which will be happening in our engineering colleges here every time. So I did attend that. And then I won a prize there. So it was like a point of confidence to me, telling that okay, you can maybe try more in this. It was like a small motivation to me. So and then I started to work for my college itself, for their website. And then so people started trusting me in the college. So I thought, okay, I have something to do with this. And then my engineering during my engineering classes, I would be dreaming about how can I be as a photographer. So wherever I go and whatever I do, somehow it will end up in me dreaming about becoming a photographer. So I thought, okay, so let me not quit the engineering. I entered it, let me complete it. So I did complete, and then I worked in a marketing firm for a year. So in that place, what actually happened was my boss came to know that I'm interested in photography. So he gave me an opportunity to capture his own products for the website. So it's like wherever I go, I ended up in something related to photography. So I knew it, okay, then I need to completely switch. Because during my work I actually juggled between my work and shoots. I used to have my shoots in the early morning, and then quickly come and go to my office. So that was an experimental period to juggle between both my work and photography. And then after a year I decided, okay, so now this is it, I'm completely getting into photography. And then I slowly started up working on projects. So I would rather say photography chose me at its own time. Yeah.
Wow, fantastic. So photography definitely chose you from the way you said.
Yeah.
And நீங்க சொன்னதுல நிறைய மெசேஜ் இருக்கு. You friends supported you, and you took the risk. Okay,
Yeah.
although you were having full-time work, but you took the risk. You came out. All right, and of course, the dream. Okay, like what Dr. Abdul Kalam, late Abdul Kalam said, dream is something which will never make you to sleep. All right,
Yeah.
so and that happened to you. So that was fantastic. All right, so even within the few minutes, I can get to know a lot of messages from you. That was fantastic. So, பெரும்பாலும் சொல்லுவாங்க, if you are a singer, you need to be calm, or you are a lyric writer, you need to go to some hilly places so that you can get ideas. So, what type of character do you think a photographer should have?
The first word that comes to my mind would be, you need to be a lot of patient. The patience is the key word that I would say. Like you will not know what exactly it's going to happen. It will take its own time. You can't rush the process. Like if you want something, you can't really rush. You need to be as patient as possible. And coming to be as in a photographer, I would say like you need a lot of patience and you need to be empathetic, because the person who is in front of your lens, they need to get into the comfort zone, and you need to understand their position. You can't rush, you need to be patient in that way. You need to bring them into your comfort zone to make them fine and safe and comfortable in front of your camera. So that involves a lot of patience. And the second thing is you need to be empathetic, because you will not actually know what they are going through in their mind. If they are letting out something, you need to properly understand it, and you need to listen a lot. So that is when their stories get into you, and then you can, like, you'll know what kind of a soul is standing in front of your lens. So that is when you get to capture the true essence. So I think you need to be empathetic, you need to be patient, and then you need to listen a lot.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. That's great. So definitely patience is one. Sometimes ஒரு photo எடுப்போம் அது கரெக்டா வராது, then you take another one,
Yes.
and maybe ஒரு some disturbance will be there, another one. So and a lot of retakes. So
Yeah.
that is the patience.
I wouldn't get satisfied until I get the output which I am imagined in my
Wow.
mind. So with the family portraits and couple portraits, it is just happening in the moment. But with few portraits, you just get to capture it in your mind already. So unless I get the right shot, I'll not let my model in peace. I'll just ask them, no, 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 one more. You need to stand in the sun. I'll just torture them to stand in the scorching bright sun for a while until I get the output.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So the personal satisfaction has to be there.
Yeah, yeah,
All right. Okay. Fantastic. Yeah. And also being empathetic or empathize, you have to put your shoes or your leg into other people's shoe. So that is important, right? ஏன்னா அவங்க என்ன kind of journey go through பண்ணிருக்காங்கன்னு தெரியாது. So you have to understand them. So that was fantastic. Okay. So, you're a professional photographer. So எங்க கூப்பிட்டாலும் நீங்க போகணும். Of course, within Chennai or within Tamil Nadu, things that. And there is a time where you kind of miss, your family moments, your friends and stuff. So how do you juggle or manage your time between personal and also your professional time?
it is just how you're getting to prioritize your family, your work. So to me, I'll make sure that I'll prioritize accordingly. I can't leave my work for my family at the vice versa happens. So if I'm getting a work and I have something to do in my house, I need to do something, I need to help my mother, say my mother or father, I need to help them. I'll make sure that that is done, and then I'll go to my work. So the same with my friends. If they are in need of me, I'll make sure my work is done, and then I'll go visit them. I'll just have my time with them and come back. So it is just how are you exactly prioritizing your things. You know that both your family, friends, and your work is equally important. So that is when you get to plan accordingly. And considering my work, it's more about it's like, they do inform me before few hours, they do inform me before few days. So if I get to get the information about the shoot before few days, I'll plan the date accordingly. I'll just make sure that things are right on that day. But
Yeah.
you can't help it, something happens at the moment and you need to plan accordingly. You need to act according to the situation.
All right. All right. So you'll be always ever ready, I would say,
Yeah,
to
yeah,
act
you
to the
need to be
situation.
ready for everything. Yeah.
All right, all right. That's great. Yeah, it takes a big sacrifice, going out of the comfort zone and, to be professional, right? And like what do you say, you need to be satisfied, otherwise you're not done.
Yeah.
So that is important. All right, that's great. So the next question is, you are a girl and of course you are still young, all right? Generally பொம்பளை பிள்ளைங்க என்ன சொல்லுவாங்கன்னா, ஓகே படிச்சுட்டு காலேஜ் போயிட்டு டிகிரி வாங்கிட்டு தென் கல்யாணம் பண்ணிட்டு தென் கெட் சம் கிட்ஸ் அண்ட் ஆஃப்டர் தட் ஃபோக்கஸ் இன் கரியர். ஸோ ஒரு பேட்டர்ன் இருக்கும், ஒரு ஸ்ட்ரக்சர்டானது. பட் யூ broke all this after your graduation. You went for a work for a while, then you come out full time into this photography. So what, when people say you should not go, people say this is not girls zone, what was your opinion?
So first of everything, I basically had this question like, why do society do this thing that this profession is for male, this profession is for female? I don't understand what exactly a gender has to do with the profession. Any profession is common for, be it a male or female or them or anything, it might be any gender, it might be. So I don't exactly get the point, why do people do that? And then I'm glad that people are slowly evolving into a zone where any gender can do any profession as they wish. So to me, initially I would say that I got I did hear few words like that, but then I was not ready to rebel against it. I knew that like fighting against them is not going to work, was my opinion. So I thought, okay, let me do what I want to do without disturbing them. Let me do what I want to do. And they slowly got into the process. I didn't like fight against them. I didn't tell that I want to do this. Uh, I just did in I just showed them in actions maybe, because I would work for nights around 4 to 6 hours. I'll be taking one single shot. I'll be still working. So randomly one evening or something, my father saw that and he was like, "You are working for so many hours," and then he himself came to help me out for the show, for that one picture. So that is when I thought, okay, what I'm doing is right. It's good that I'm not fighting against them. So rather, I'm just showing in my actions. So now that I could see our people in our native, they are like, okay, so you're doing this, they're okay with it. So I think only the action will speak. The words doesn't do anything with people. Yeah.
All right. Okay, that's good. So the action speaks, and yeah, you just don't bother about the words, right? You just keep it at the
Yeah.
side, and you just focus on your work.
Yeah.
So that's great, and you are here where you are, so that's fantastic. Of course, people will say 101 thing, but end of the day, it's what you do, and you do it with
Yeah.
honesty,
Exactly.
integrity. That's great. All right. So with this photography world, as you said, you need to work long hours, and sometimes the company or the production company will call you, within a short time, right?
Hmm.
So were there any challenging moment that you had, and how did you overcome those challenges?
So to me, I would say like every step you take, it would be a challenging step, because I had no clue how this industry actually works, because I don't have the family background who is into cinema or who is into the media field. Any friends of friends, I had no clue. Like I know that only my eyes can do something with this camera. That is the only trust I had. So I know that I don't have any people who can help me or guide me through this process. So every step you take, you need to face it alone. You need to face and you need to accept the challenge. So, say you're going to meet a stranger, that itself is a challenge. You need to bring them into your comfort zone. Initially, that was also a challenge. So, I thought, okay, the way you communicate, the way you are bringing your client into the comfort zone matters. So, to slowly come over that challenge itself took me a year. So, anywhere you step into, it's a big challenge, because I didn't assist anybody, so I didn't know how everything works here. So if I'm getting a camera and if I'm not knowing how it works, and it's a challenge again. So everything you step on, it's a challenge, because you need to face it alone. And I'm happily satisfied with it facing alone, so I'm okay with challenges.
All right, yeah, that's good. It's not that the challenges will go away. You
Yeah,
just need to how to embrace it.
yeah,
Yeah.
it just makes me better, I feel, because every time I get to make a mistake, I learn out of it. So I'm totally fine with that.
Okay, so what doesn't kills you builds you or makes you stronger, and
Definitely.
definitely, yeah, you agree with that. Okay, that's good. So now, I'm sure in this audience, they have youngsters, they have young kids. So, what are your advices for aspiring youngsters, either girls or boys, who want to take up this photography full time?
um, I would say they need not wait for the right time, as in they need not wait until I need a camera, so that is when I can become a professional photographer. There is nothing like you need a camera. Camera is just a device that is going to help you capture the picture. So all that matters is your eyes, the way you see, the way you want it to be captured. And then the camera is a tool that is helping you. So I don't think you need a proper professional camera which costs lakhs. You can maybe capture on your phone, you can practice, you can discover yourself, like okay, so I'm truly into it, and then you can slowly get a camera. And once you get a camera, you will know, like you will start to practice it. And while you practice it, you will not know what the buttons are, what the keys are. So you will eventually get to take the next step. That is when you get to learn from somebody, you get to sign up for workshops, then take up like tutorials on YouTube. So that is the next step, and then you get to practice a lot. And I would say the next step after taking up these tutorials or something is managing with the personal projects. Like you can start with your friends, maybe you can like capture them, and then you can move to your friends of friends, and then slowly to the other people. So
Right.
that is when you can slowly get to know how you can get the people into your comfort zone. You can actually practice with your friends and friends of friends, and then it'll be normal to shoot some other stranger. So begin
Okay.
with what you have actually.
All right. Wow. That's good. That's a great tip, I would say. You can start with a phone and, go with your
Yeah, definitely.
friends.
Yeah,
That's great. All right.
yeah,
So it's how you come out from your comfort zone end of the day, right?
yeah.
That that was great.
It takes some time, but it's a slow process, but then
Mhm.
eventually you will have what you want to have.
Okay. That's good. So now let me just go into some technical questions. It's not like too technical, but what type of cameras are there, especially for portrait photographers?
So usually there are a lot of variety in the field, like be it Canon, Nikon, Sony, and then there are lots of Fujifilm. There are lots, and Fujifilms are so good with film cameras, and then Pentax, Lumix. There are lots of variety, but as I told you before, that it's just a tool. I wouldn't say that that's nothing. That is obviously everything, but then it's a tool. The first thing is your eyes. Your eyes need to capture it before your camera does. So I would say, if you're going to get to purchase a camera, start with something very minimal. So discover yourself with the camera first, and then you can switch to the proper professional camera when the right time comes.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can start with that.
Okay, that's great. So, like, what your advice, the more important is your eyes. And of course, nowadays we got the frame. So, we got the screen where you can focus and make sure it's within the frame
Yeah,
and stuff.
because I get to see, like, there are almost everybody owns a camera.
Hmm.
So that doesn't actually works that way.
Okay.
So your eyes need to capture it before your camera does. Camera is just a
Right.
tool that is helping you to capture it and showing the world, or having it with yourself or something.
All right. Okay. That's great. Okay. So, maybe just a simple question here. Let's say if I want to take up photography today, so where can I start now?
um, you can probably start once this session is over. You can probably pick up your phone. You can
Hmm.
ask a family member to maybe
Okay.
stand where the light properly gets in. Click a picture of them first, and
Hmm.
then the first picture, they would be normally standing. The second
Right.
picture, you just communicate with them. And
Hmm.
then bring them into your comfort zone, and then click a
Okay.
picture. You can definitely see a difference there.
Ah, all right. So
Yes.
while you're speaking to them, you take a picture.
Yeah,
Is that what
not
you're saying?
exactly. I'm telling that communicate with them, get to know about them, and bring them into your comfort zone.
Okay.
So, like, not your comfort zone, like, they need to be comfortable in front of the lens, because
Hmm.
not everybody are comfortable. I myself is not. I am not comfortable person in front of the lens. I am happy behind the lens. I cannot stand in front. So I know that how it is for many people who stand in front. So I would want them to be comfortable first.
Hmm.
So it takes some time. So once they are comfortable, they can be their own self, and you get your output when you click at the right moment.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's
it's
great.
just, you start with whatever
Hmm.
you have in your mind and whatever you have in your hand, you just do it off. That's it.
All right. That's great. I actually agree with what Kanmani said because, for me, as a public speaker, of course, stage fear is always there. So I managed to overcome those fear, or manage to, manage to have that lesser fear. But when pandemic started, I had to speak via the camera, because virtual, right? So of course, facing the camera is another fear, because you have to focus on the camera, and there's another fear. So like what Kanmani shared, every time when you have different stage or different platform, you have a specific fear for that. Right? They agree with that. That's good. So there's a question here from the audience. Do you also edit your pictures? What tool do you use for editing?
Yeah, I of course do edit. I use Adobe Lightroom software.
Okay.
So that is the software I use. I usually don't take help from Photoshop or something, because I would prefer my model skin as such. As in, if she has a pimple, I would say it's okay, just a pimple. It's something natural. There is no need that you need to remove it off with something Photoshop, or it's just okay. It just looks beautiful as it is. So I usually prefer only Lightroom. I get to tone the picture. I get to select a color accordingly, so that my mood of the picture is right. It's carried right. So I'm quite particular about the colors. So I would like mild and subtle colors. So I take up only from take the help of Lightroom. It's
All right.
Adobe Lightroom. Yeah.
Okay, that's great. All right. So because yeah, I think the popular ones that we know is Photoshop, and of
Yeah,
course in
I
Photoshop we can do lot of
yeah.
things.
Yeah, Photoshop is something like you can work a lot on skin, and you can remove some objects. You can
Okay.
like change whatever you want it according to your preferences.
Mm.
But Lightroom is all about coloring
All
your
right.
picture. Yeah, coloring
Oh,
your picture and adding the little corrections like brightness, contrast, something like that. Yeah,
okay.
Lightroom is all about that, and Photoshop is all about skin retouching, removing
Mhm.
stuff, and lot of like that.
All right. Okay. So for the audience now, there's two different softwares, although under the same Adobe company, but
Yeah,
it's two different softwares. All right. That's great. So yeah, for the audience, we are having some interesting conversation with Kanmani on the photography and her passion, her career. So this session is being recorded. I will upload this onto YouTube and send you the link. And should you have any question, also put it on the chat box. All right. So no issues on that, or you can unmute yourself and ask the question. All right. So, Kanmani, there's another question here. Is there any need for a huge investment, especially when you say there's lakhs, or in
yeah.
Malaysia we call it thousands, right, to start photography? So, what's your opinion on that?
No, no. I would definitely say a no to that, because I took my own time around like 4 to 5 years to invest on a camera, as in lakhs. So I know like the right time when you actually need a camera which costs that much amount, which is huge. So I didn't risk myself in the initial stages. I know that I need a lot of practice, and I'll reach the time where I would invest like lakhs on my camera. So initial stages, it's just according to your, if you got a budget of that much and you want to try on it initially, well and good, you can definitely try. But if you ask me and my opinion, I would say a no. In initial stages, I would say a no. You can probably start with whatever you have, and then switch to beginner friendly cameras, and then maybe a semi professional, and then professional cameras. There
All
is
right.
there is kind of cameras for every stages maybe. Yeah.
All right. Wow, that's good. At least you have a structure. You
Yeah.
start with whatever you have, then you go for beginner, semi-professional, and professional.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
that's good.
And also, if you're a professional photographer, you are taking up weddings, your work demands the camera.
Okay.
So I can say like, my eyes does this, so I don't need a camera. You can't do that. Your work demands it. You need to give the quality. So when
Okay.
you want to purchase such a camera, I think the right time will guide you.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, that's great. So, ladies and gentlemen, you don't need to have a huge investment, and obviously you can go for a, second hand, or they call it resold, gadgets, right? That's good. Or pre-loved. In Malaysia, we call it pre-loved, right? That's great. So, that there's a unique question here because when I go through your Instagram page, there's all portrait photographies. Very few either family pictures or weddings. So is that your forte or your passion just to focus on portrait?
Yeah, to me, the picture question, be it portrait or the landscape view, that doesn't matter. Actual thing is to capture people, to know a lot of stories from them. I get to listen a lot of stories. I get to meet new people, and to me that is quite interesting. It's like for every shoot you get to meet different people, you get to listen to different people.
Mhm.
So while I kept dreaming about photography during my college days, all that I had in mind was how to capture this person, what would what would be best for them, how to bring out the natural self out of them. So everything was revolving around people.
Mhm.
So I thought, okay, why not? So I think this is my thing, and I can probably listen to different stories. I can be part of their stories, and I don't think that every part of photography you can do that. Wedding, definitely you can be part of a huge day of a person's life.
Right.
To me, portrait photography felt a little personal compared to
Mhm.
everything else. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Okay. The reason why I'm asking this because I was watching this movie Mayakam Enna. Dhanush acted in this movie,
Ah,
and he's a wildlife photographer. That was
yeah.
his character. All right. So it's very few who will go into that genre. All right. So my question is, would you prefer that genre also, or you feel you are safe with this?
Sure. I would choose maybe anything else, but not the wildlife, because I'm scared about cats, dogs, especially.
Okay.
Anything regards to animals, I'm so nervous about them. So I'm completely okay with people,
All
like
right.
shooting people. I'm
Mhm.
okay with shooting people rather than shooting animals. I can
Oh,
adore them by like in far.
mhm. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
Okay. Okay. That's great. Yeah. Of course, different people will have different fear, and yeah, this is one of
exactly,
the fear. All
exactly.
right. Okay. That's good. And of course, you did say you like to work with people, you like to listen to people, and enhance a relationship. But I've also been moderating people, celebrities, and stuff. So when the first time I saw a particular actor, one of the local actor, I was a bit amazed. I was sitting next to him, moderating him. So same goes to looking at your pictures. You had a lot of celebrities, right? So when you look at her, didn't you like shiver when you take the picture?
So for every shoot, be it any shoot, I get so nervous before the shoot,
Oh,
because my thoughts will be like, will the climate be proper, will it go
okay,
as I planned? I usually don't
right.
plan by step, but I get to imagine the output already. So my nervousness is all about like, will it be fine, will it be fine? So it's not like only for celebrity shoot, it is for like
Mhm.
any kind of shoot. I'll be nervous unless and until I'm okay at the moment. At the moment, as
Okay,
in like while I'm shooting, I'll be normal, but before the shoot I'll be damn nervous.
okay,
So it's not, but to your question, I never had that shivering maybe, but that hesitance, as in like how he or she are going to be with me, how are they going to
right.
react, will I be able to bring out their natural self out of them? Because
Hmm.
the trick is, you're not going to use artificial light, you're not going to shoot in a studio like check one two
Right,
three click. It's not that way. You need to know about them, you need to talk to
right.
them, and it involves a lot of communication. So
True.
the first time I met these people, I never felt like, okay, they're actors, they have did these projects. I just throwed away that from my mind. So
Okay,
that will definitely block you. So
that's
I
right.
would rather throw that away from my mind, and I'll be okay, fine, normal. So that is when I realized, okay, you're going in a right path, you're not having that blockage because you're not putting that in your mind. So the
Right.
first time I met Gayatri, and we both were talking as if we know each other for more than 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right.
So she told that she felt very comfortable.
Hmm.
That is why she shared her stories with me. So I know, okay, fine. So this is how it can be worked it out.
Okay. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
great. So it's how you reframe your mind.
Yeah, the only time I got like awestruck is when I saw Saindavi for the first time.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
Saindavi is actually I mean, I know Bhavani.
Hmm.
Bhavani is sister of G.V. Prakash.
Okay.
So while I was shooting Bhavani, she told Saindavi about me. So that was the first time I saw her, and I was like struck because music is something that I rely on every time, and
Hmm.
I adore her voice. So I was like, what? And then yeah, she told she likes my work and she wanted to work with me, and
Oh,
again I got blocked. So
okay.
so that is these tiny moments. But then I don't want that to be a blockage
Mhm.
to my work, so I just keep that away and shoot.
All right. Okay. That's great. That's a great tips, how you reframe your mind,
Yeah, yeah,
have that icebreaker with them, get to know them. That's
yes.
great. All right. So there's a question here. Celebrity photographer, any chance you will be taking picture of Vijay Sethupathi?
That's my brother there. So, shooting Vijay Sethupathi is something a big dream for me. Like when someone asks me like who's your like a dream person to work with, I would say definitely Vijay Sethupathi, and then I'll say Sai Pallavi in female.
Okay.
Yeah. So with Vijay Sethupathi, I would say like I worked with his co-stars, as in Gauri,
Mm.
Gayatri.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I'm working with the co-stars. When can I work with them? So hopefully, when the right time reaches, it might happen. I'm
All
just
right.
sending it to over the universe. I hope
Right.
it listens to this.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, we are rooting for that too, fingers
Yeah,
crossed. All
yeah,
right. So actually, in line with that question, I want to ask, because when I go through your Instagram pages, uh, most of the pictures were basically ladies, girls.
yeah,
There were few male.
yeah.
Why is that?
Uh, I'm not very sure. Like, I don't have an answer actually.
Okay.
The mail I get to shoot is my family members. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe when I get to have a right project in my mind, maybe I'll work on it.
Right.
Yeah, maybe when I get to have some personal project in my mind, maybe yeah, I would like to work on with male too, because you will get to know
Mhm.
their emotions
True.
and how it can be captured. It's like a totally something different, right? Because I've been
Correct.
working with almost female alone. I would like
Right.
to work, but I'm just waiting for the right time and the right project hit on my mind.
Mhm. All right. Okay. That's good. So yeah, we will wait for that right moment, especially of Vijay Sethupathi, right?
Yeah,
You're rooting for that.
definitely.
Okay. So there's another question here. Can you comment which drive do you take this photography profession? Is photography your passion from childhood or insisted by someone intermediate? What's your future plan? I think there's few parts to the question. What is your drive that takes you into the profession? That's one part. The
Uh,
second part is your passion. Does it come from your childhood? I think you answered this initially,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And the third one
Uh,
is your future plan. Yeah.
Mm. So the drive, I would say, like, yeah, I already told that, like, wherever I step into, my end was like something related to photography. Like as I told you, while I was working, my boss himself came to me saying that you're interested in photography, right? So why don't you take pictures of the products for website? So I was like, what is this? Like wherever I go, I come to the place where something is related to photography. So that is when I know, okay, some science from universe or what, so I'm taking this up. And I'm glad that I took those signs in a serious way. Yeah.
Okay.
And then photography, a passion from your childhood? No, I don't think it's from my childhood, but during my 10th, I was a curious kid to know what a camera does. And then my future plans, I don't have something like future plans. If someone asked me like what is your future goal or something, I would want to work every day. That's it.
Okay.
So definitely with some breaks, because if I work for 2 days, I'll sleep for 3 days. I need
Wow.
some physical strength to work for every day. That is my future goal or plans or something else. Yeah.
All right, all right. That's great. Especially, when you say I want to work every day, with the pandemic, now we are coming to post-pandemic. Especially
Yes.
during the pandemic, people, especially in the cine field, a lot of them lost their jobs and lost their income, source of income. So that was a bit sad and challenging. So yeah, hope, we will work every day. So that's good. All right. So that's fantastic. So for the audience, if you have any other questions, yeah, you can put it on the chat box, or we can unmute yourself and ask the question directly to the speaker. All right. So actually, like what Kanmani said, I can relate the same to me, because whenever they see Kanmani, they will say, okay, let's take picture. Let's ask Kanmani to take picture. All right. So same goes to me. I attended one of the engagement, and they told me, okay, since you are a good speaker, why don't you just MC the event just for a short while? I was like, okay. So wherever I go, people see me as a speaker. All right, okay, there's one guy to MC or a moderator or whatever. So that's how you build your brand, right? Sometimes.
Yeah.
All right. So there's another unique question here. You have been a photographer, all right, taking stills. Are you trying to venture into videography?
Um, I didn't plan anything about that yet, but video is something which is demanding right now. It's like demanding a photographer to take a video, because once the reels has happened, the reels is something in boom right now for the Instagram. So any brand I work with, the first question they ask me is, "Will you shoot videos as well?" but
Mhm.
but I'm like, I'm just a beginner in video, so I can't promise my clients on that.
Mhm.
So I think Instagram right now is demanding everybody to become a videographer. uh,
That's right.
with these reels thing, no? So to me, I don't have a thing yet to, I mean, a push or something towards videography. Maybe I do have few ideas. I have like written it out already, but then I'm not I didn't have the right push to start something into videography yet.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, I agree. It's again the push or the drive has to be there.
Yes,
All right.
yes,
It's great. Okay. And of course, it requires more technical knowledge, especially for the
definitely,
videography and stuff.
definitely. It's not the same like how you edit a photograph.
Mhm.
It's something a huge and tricky process. You need to learn lot of techniques, and it involves a lot of practice. I would
Mhm.
definitely want to learn, but maybe I didn't get the drive yet.
All right. Okay. Yeah. That's right. And of course, your endurance or your stamina has to be there. Sometimes because the shoot can take your whole day,
Yes,
right?
yes,
Yeah,
definitely.
12 hours, 18 hours. All right, that's right. Because sometimes I used to participate in TV programs where the TV show is only for 1.5 hour, but the recording will take you 5 hours, and
Yes,
there is
yes,
a preparation for that. That's another probably 3 hours. So the whole day is gone for you, right?
yes, yes.
So
I did get opportunities for like cinematography in cinema, but then like through directors, because I see few directors are like following my works, like few
mm,
directors who are
wow.
like currently in boom. So they were like, "Are you interested in cinematography?" When I got an opportunity, I wasn't ready. I
Okay.
I know that I'm not ready for cinema or anything related to cinematography.
Hmm.
So I
Okay.
told them, no, I'm quite okay with what I'm doing right now.
Hmm.
So if by any chance if I get the push or if I want to learn more about it, maybe I can give a try.
All
Yeah.
right. Okay. Okay. That's great. So I'm actually glad to know that the director is also following you. That's
Yeah,
fantastic.
yeah, yeah,
All
yeah.
right. So if I were to ask you, who are your idol, or like a kind of a mentor who you look up to for photographer or videographer?
Um, I'm not a very, this person like say that I don't have that one person in my life to tell like, okay, I just love this photographer. He is my idol. I don't know why I don't have that, but I do
Mm-hmm.
have a few people, say Ravi Varman, PC Sriram. And then
All right.
these people, the way they frame the scenes in the movies, I mean, the way they frame the scenes, uh, I have watched few movies just for them.
Okay.
If I get to see their name in the poster, I'll definitely give a watch. And then I'll try to watch it more than 4 or 5 times just to learn their frames.
Mm. Okay.
So I would say Ravi Varman and PC Sriram in that case, and then a
Okay.
few other photographers like Bhumika Bhatia, or like few people who
Mm.
majorly concentrate on the emotions, people's
Okay.
emotions. It's not anything. I don't like anything being very fancy and sophisticated. I would say simple is sophisticated. So my eyes keep searching for something like that, and any photographer who does that, I am like liking their work.
All right. Okay.
I'm following their work, and I'll get to learn out of their work. So I don't have that one person who I can say like idol and all. I would
Mm.
say music itself is on the whole is like a idol to me. So
Okay.
it keeps my mind sane when I want to work. So I
Mm-hmm.
would say in that sense, music, and if particular as a photographer, maybe Ravi Varman, PC Sriram's frames, I would say a
Okay.
big yes. Yeah.
All right. Okay. That's great. That's get to know. Those are one of the top, videographers
Yeah,
or
definitely.
cinematographers in the
Yeah, yeah.
country. Right.
While you get to watch their movies, there are a lot of insights you can take
Mm-hmm.
out of it. Each frame will definitely make you learn something or the other.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So that's another question here. Do you travel more? And maybe you can share some of the adventurous photography of yours.
I haven't. I mean, I have traveled within Chennai, but not out of Chennai. But
Okay.
adventurous, I would say we traveled out of Chennai, as in the outskirts of Chennai. I would say. We traveled in a car. We were a team of 5 girls, and we had 10 outfits to shoot. And the climate was like the sun was so bright, like damn bright. I didn't know what to do. The whole pressure was on me, because I
Okay.
shouldn't bother about the climate, I shouldn't bother about anything else. All of them will be like, okay Kanmani, you need to work it out. I'm like, what else I'm going to do? I need to travel. Like, I didn't have a proper location. We didn't book any spot. We were like, okay, we need to scout the location, we need to take the car, travel around, change the outfit in the car, and shoot here and there. So it was like a 1 day of work where we went completely into some village, and then we got help from the village people. We were lost around some place. So I would always remember that shoot. I would always remember, because it was something very adventurous for us, because there were 10 outfits that I need to work on. The sun was so bright, and we were completely out of Chennai. So, like, shoots like that are quite interesting and also adventurous.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, you
Yes.
need to get used to all those weather
Yes.
situations, and you
Yes.
can't control them, right?
Yes, it is definitely a challenge, because your model has to change the outfit in the car, and
Okay.
you need to work on the light,
Okay.
because the 3 p.m. light and all will be so bright, but there is no space to hide even.
Mm-hmm.
It's like some hills and all, and we're like, okay fine, whatever it is, we need to work it out.
Yeah.
However the adventure is going to be, we need to do it. I'm
Mm-hmm.
glad those girls were very supportive, and we did happen the shoot in a right way.
Okay. Wow. That's great. So, just in case, were there any situation that you had to like cancel the shoot, or there were, you had to delay the shoots because of this weather and stuff like that?
Yeah. It usually happens, especially during these 2 months, November and December. Uh, we will not fix on a date. We'll just give a tentative date. We'll be like,
Okay.
okay, let's get prepared for 27th. Let's see how
Mm-hmm.
the weather is. If the weather is fine, like just quicker come off. That is it. We'll be prepared for anything. Be it like if the shoot is on or off, we'll be prepared. So that is when we'll have the tentative dates and we'll not give the fixed dates. Yeah,
Okay.
we
Yep.
just decide how the weather is. So before the show starts, it was raining so badly. Now I get to see all the light here.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Understand. So it's always a challenge, to
Yes,
commit for a project, right?
yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. All right. So do you happen to work in two projects concurrently during the same day or something like that?
No, no. Maybe two projects in a day, but not like simultaneously or something. No,
Okay. All right.
I wouldn't do that also, because before one shoot itself I'll be nervous, and at the time to handle both I would say a no.
All right. Okay. Understand. All right. Because sometimes the settings and we need to be in that mindset, right?
Yes, yes.
So like, yeah.
Also, basically, I'm not working in a studio setup. So,
Okay.
in that case, maybe two shoots. Yeah. In my kind of photography, it's like completely two locations, two events, two different things. I don't think that'll be going right. It'll become a mess, maybe. Yeah.
Okay.
Or maybe
All
I
right.
need to try it once and see how it goes.
Okay. Okay. Understand on that. That's great. All right. So we are coming towards the end of the segment. So for the audience, if you have any question, yeah, please feel free to ask for the speaker. Right. We have some interesting sharings going on. And for those who would like to get to know more about the speaker, of course, the Instagram page I've shared, so you can check out all the photos, her skills, and different types of celebrities that she has taken. All right, and apart from that, let's say for us, for those who in Malaysia, if you were to happen to visit Chennai, of course, the speaker is there, right? And of course, now it's a rainy season. Of course, it's flood in India. So for those viewing this from India, hopefully you're safe. And for those who are in Malaysia, as you know, the COVID variant is also expanding. There's a new variant from Africa and continent. So please stay safe for now. All right. So, Kanmani, people will say, okay, since you're a portrait photographer, so let's say I got a wedding next week. Can I call you? Can you take a picture? Something like that. Would you be accepting those kind of invites?
Yeah, yeah. I would like ask them to message me on that once I
Hmm.
get a proper details, and if it is going to work it out. I mean, while they talk, you will maybe probably know it is going to work it out or not.
Okay.
So I'll have the discussion. I'll get to
Hmm.
know the details, and then I'll
Right.
accordingly say yes or a no, maybe.
All right. Right. That's great. Yeah. So end of the day, the chemistry has to be there,
Yes, yes.
and that's
And
right.
maybe the dates has to work out, and I don't
Mm.
take up a complete wedding, as in there are people who get to hire a team and then they'll get to hire a candid photographer.
Yeah. That's right.
So in that cases I'll do my job for
Okay.
weddings. Yeah.
All right. Okay. That's great. So let's say since you are already, quite popular in photography arena, especially in Tamil Nadu, right, or Chennai. So let's say if it's some juniors would approach you, okay, can you uh, guide us or tutor us, conduct a class or something? Would you be venturing into that also, like a, tutorials or something?
I don't know why I'm not ready for it. Maybe because there are people. There are times I get messages about taking up classes
Mm,
and taking up workshops and stuff.
true.
I'm like, okay, maybe I should try and give it a shot on it, but I'm not
Mhm.
ready yet. But maybe in future I will.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Probably a
yeah.
more established and with
I
some
don't want it
big.
to be a workshop thing. Rather, it can be a proper one-on-one talk or something, so that they'll
uh,
get to know a lot.
all right, okay.
I don't
That's
want it
great.
to be a properly planned workshop.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Okay, probably a half day seminar or
yeah, yeah.
a few hours workshop. All right, that's great. Yeah, that's good. All right, so that's great. So I'm sure for those who are watching, you will know what style is Kanmani's photography is like, and what's the character is like, and how she behaves and how she connects with people. All right, so that's great. And of course, it was a sweet moment for us, to hear from Kanmani itself, her journey, how she started, and of course her challenging her sweet moments. All right, of course the pictures are already the evidence, to show how good she is, right, or how versatile she is. So as a teenager she started, so that was fantastic. Right, she said during the school days, and she took step by step, and she is where she is now. All right, so that's great. That the key message I'm still remember. Be brave to move, take risk. All
Yeah.
right, make sure you dream, focus. All right, that's great. All right, that's good. I'm sure if for those juniors who are watching here, or for those who have kids, Kanmani would definitely be an inspiration for a lot of us, and especially for young girls, especially. Right, so it's not that you must follow a pattern or a structure in a life. You can always break the pattern and do something which you love. Okay, that's great. All right. So looks like we are coming towards the end of the segment. So any final words from you, Kanmani?
um it was like a very good session for me as well
Right.
to talk about like what all has happened in these years and what all my mind is thinking about the future and all. So it was quite a good session for me as well, and taking a break to sit and talk about like how these days were, and what I'm doing currently, and what my mind is planning for the next few days or months or years. So it was a nice experience to talk here. And I have a quickly request from you, and then because you're finding so many talents and bringing them to a platform and
Yep.
people are getting to listen to them,
Yep.
and I would suggest like why don't you widen it and many people get to listen rather than
Right.
just few people and like
Mhm.
only for one community. Rather it can be
Okay.
for all the people, because you're
Mhm.
selecting the talents and the
Yeah.
knowledge can be spreaded in a wider range.
Mhm. All right.
Yes,
Yep.
yes. Because
Thanks a
I
lot for.
get to see that you are doing it like every week. So
Mhm.
you're finding talents and they are sharing their knowledge. And when a lot of people get to know these talents, and they can maybe gain the knowledge and sharing happens there.
Mhm. All
Yes.
right. Yep.
Yeah.
That's good. All right. Yep. Definitely. Thanks for the advice. All right. And definitely, I'll look into that. And
Yeah.
of course, my future aim is, of course, like going in live directly and stuff like that, so that it can reach broader audience. Right.
Definitely.
That's great. All right.
It will definitely be good.
Yeah, thank you very much for that. All right. So for the audience, if you have any other potential speakers or talents around the world, so do let me know. I'll get in touch with them. Or if you have any suggested topics, also do let me know. All right. So I'll get them to speak on that. So it was a great session. 1 hour just passed like that. So it was great. A lot of insightful, entertaining, and also worthwhile sharings that we had with the speaker.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much
Yeah.
for having me here.
Yeah, my pleasure. So it's our pleasure. Of course, despite your busy schedule and stuff, you made
Oh,
it today. It
thank
was
you.
great. So for those who are in India, hopefully you are still safe, with the current flood and stuff. So please stay safe. And for the rest of the world, please, with the new variants and stuff, please, it's not end of the war yet. We are still fighting against the COVID. So please stay safe. All right. So with that, thanks a lot for everyone. Have a good Sunday and take care. I shall see you in my next series. Vanakkam and thank you.